All right, it's another beautiful Wednesday morning. Welcome. It's Corporate Governance Platform, brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN. I am Funmi Omoburiwo. ICSAN is a leading recognized professional body in Nigeria dedicated to enhancing the status and practice of corporate governance and public administration. And the Institute, of course, is a member of the Corporate Secretaries International Association, CSIA, a Hong Kong-based global organization dedicated to developing and growing the study and practice of secretaryship to improve professional standards, the quality of governance practice, and to improve organizational performance. On the program this morning, we want to look at role of the board as the provider of the entrepreneurial and strategic leadership for the company. Our guest this morning is Mr. BANJO OWOWEYE, FCIS. He's chairman of the real estate sectoral group of the Institute. Good morning, Mr. OWOWEYE.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. With me in the studio is Mr. Ketefe, FCIS. He's head of research, ICSAN. Good morning, Mr. Ketefe.
Good morning, Funmi. Good morning to you, our guest, Mr. BANJO OWOWEYE, FCIS. And good morning to you, all our listeners.
All right, we're going to take this message and we'll be right back.
The world is constantly evolving into a knowledge-based economy where skills and competencies constitute the lifeblood of public and corporate governance. You therefore need to empower yourself to fit into this new world by gaining basic knowledge and improving your skill set in the governance-focused disciplines. That is why every aspiring as well as practicing professional in governance field needs ICSAN.
ICSAN. What is ICSAN?
ICSAN is a leading statutorily established professional body dedicated to enhancing the status and practice of corporate governance and public administration. ICSAN members are trained as chartered secretaries and administrators.
Who are chartered secretaries and administrators?
Chartered secretaries are high-ranking governance professionals with a broad base of skills, unique amongst other professions. They are trained in law, finance, accounting, administration, strategy development, and corporate governance. In today's world, chartered secretaries and administrators discharge a wide range of duties and responsibilities, including functioning as chairmen of companies, executive directors, non-executive directors, company secretaries, risk managers, compliance managers, board evaluators, and corporate governance evaluators.
That is interesting. How then do I become a chartered secretary and administrator?
Good. Go to the Institute's website, www.icsan.org. You can also visit the National Secretariat of ICSAN at Plot 6, Elephant Cement Way, Alausa, Ikeja, Lagos, to get full information on how to become members. ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
All right, still corporate governance platform right here. And like I said earlier, we're looking at the role of the board as the provider of the entrepreneurial and strategic leadership for the company. All right, Mr. OWOWEYE, let's begin this way. Who are the directors?
Okay, thank you very much. Basically, directors are the officers that make up the board of directors in a company. They are the people responsible for controlling, for managing, and for directing the affairs of the company. They are also considered as trustees of the company's property and money. They are also the agents of the company in transactions that are entered into by the company. They are supposed to also control, as I say, they are also supposed to control the affairs, manage the affairs, and direct the affairs of the company. In any transactions, any transaction they are entering for the company, any transaction they are entering for the company, they are supposed to enter like to be like agents of the company, basically. So in summary, basically, directors are those people that form the board of directors. They are also responsible for the controlling and managing and also the directing of the affairs of the company. Thank you.
All right. It's often said that an effective board is necessary for a successful company. Now, can you explain effectiveness in relation to the board?
Okay. Basically, effectiveness means the capability to produce desired results, or the ability to produce desired outputs. For when you talk about the board's effectiveness, I would say it refers to the capability of the board to achieve the desired targets for the company, which is to ensure that the business of the company is done properly to give desired results. Also, when you say effectiveness of the board, it also means that the company is doing the right thing and taking the right decision, all in the company's interest. The board are supposed to actually take the right decisions, do the right things, take the right steps, and take the right decisions, all in the company's interest. So in summary, an effective board is one that provides strategic leadership to corporate for corporate survival and company productivity. Thank you.
Now, what corporate governance role would you ascribe to directors as leaders of the company?
Come again, please.
I said, what corporate governance role would you ascribe to directors as leaders of the company?
Okay. In corporate governance, directors are expected to exercise oversight and control to ensure that management and every other officer of the company act in the best interest of all stakeholders, and also to sustain the prosperity of the company. So the board must also ensure compliance with the laws and regulations governing the company's operations. So there are companies that have rules and regulations that attach to their operations. So the board is supposed to ensure that those rules and regulations are actually followed. Again, the board is expected to oversee the internal audit function of the company and also establish the company's risk management framework. So in general, directors are expected to lead in the compliance of all corporate governance rules and expectations of the company. Thank you.
Why is diversity necessary in board's composition?
Okay, diversity. Okay, by diversity in board composition, we mean diversity in terms of gender, in terms of age, in terms of culture, in terms of skills and capabilities of those that make up the board. So the board is more likely to arrive at better decisions when the decision-making process is contributed to by diverse range of people, diverse skills, diverse capabilities, all working towards the same objective, which is the betterment of the company they work for. So in other words, board diversity improves the quality and objectivity of the decision-making process by bringing new voices to the table, to the debate, to the decisions they make. It fosters innovation, creativity, and better understanding through a greater variety of problem-solving approaches, perspective, and ideas. So generally, diversity, when you have a diversified board, different skills are brought together, different cultures, different minds, and they bring all these together to reach the best decision for the company's progress and for the company's good. Thank you.
All right. It's not only ideal, but necessary for the board to have the right mix of people, including...
I didn't get you. Sorry.
Okay. Can you hear me clearly?
Okay, go on, please.
Okay, I said it's not only ideal, but it's necessary for the board to have the right mix of people, including executive and non-executive directors. So I want you to tell us who the executive and non-executive directors are.
Oh, okay. So I would say executive directors are responsible for the day-to-day management of the company. They are actually employees of the company and they perform day-to-day managerial duties within the business. So they come to the office daily, mostly daily. They attend to things normal employees of the company. So they're actually employees of the company. But when you talk about non-executive directors, they are not involved in the day-to-day running of the business. They are not employees of the company, but they sit in the board to make decisions for the company alongside the executive directors. Thank you.
Now, the Code on Corporate Governance saddles the board with the responsibilities of considering and approving the long-term and short-term strategies for the business of the company and monitoring their implementation by management. Now, what are short-term and long-term strategies? And you can also expatiate by telling us why a company must get both right.
Okay, thank you. So in general, short-term goals can be finished within 6 months to 3 years. So there are short-term strategies you put in place for a short period of time. On the other hand, long-term goals may take up to, let's say, 4 or 5 years to come to fruition. So short-term planning evaluates your progress in the present and creates an action plan to improve performance daily within a short time. While on the other hand, long-term planning is a comprehensive framework that comprises of goals to be met within a 5-year period or even more. It is important that the company get both of them right to ensure business productivity, business continuity, and business survival, because the short-term goals actually accumulate into the long-term goals. So if the short-term goals are not gotten right, the company may miss the long-term goals they are trying to pursue. So that is why both must be gotten right.
All right, but before I let you go, another provision of the code is that the board should establish and maintain the company's values and standards, including an ethical culture, as well as demonstrating the right tone at the top. I want to ask why you think this provision is important.
Okay, thank you very much. So the board is supposed to exercise oversight and control to ensure that management acts in the best interest of the shareholders and other stakeholders while sustaining the prosperity of the company. One of the ways of achieving this is establishing best practices and good ethical culture. So as leaders, directors are leaders of the board, they are leaders of the company. They must demonstrate this from the top. So they must lead by example. This provision is therefore important because it is in the best interest of the company and its stakeholders, as it will likely contribute to business growth and business continuity. Also, it will ensure that business is done in a proper way. This is the summary of corporate governance is to ensure that business is done in a proper way. So as leaders, directors are expected to actually inculcate this from the top so that they can spill it down to their reports and their followers, the other employees and managers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. BANJO OWOWEYE, FCIS, Chairman of the Real Estate Sectoral Group of the Institute. Thank you for joining us on Corporate Governance Platform this morning. All right, Mr. Ketefe, let me come to you. Does ICSAN organize training on the theme of the role of the board as strategic leader of the company?
Thank you very much, Fumi, for that question. Our training department